Welcome to the December edition of Ladies No Shade, No Shame. So, we wanted to have our next topic centered around dating during coronavirus or pandemic in general. Uh, as humans, you naturally want to be close with someone, you want to have some type of connection with someone. And the pandemic, as you all know, has touched almost every facet of any industry in our lives in 2020. We need a whole redo over for 2020. Everything's been affected from airlines, with
Yes.
travel, people's job, grocery stores. I mean, I cannot think of anything that
All
the
right.
coronavirus has not affected.
Right.
And that includes dating. So, what do you do and
Yes.
how do you get that connection or you meet someone when a pandemic is going on? Do you just put your life on hold and stay in? Well, some people can choose to do that, and that is definitely their choice. But we did some research, and there are ways for you to date during this pandemic and have that connection with someone. There's a whole host of options, from dating websites, Zoom, and online dating. That actually forces you to get to know someone because you're not readily available when you
Right.
swipe to the left and be like, meet me at the bar. So you got to pump your brakes on that one, and it forces you to do a little bit deeper digging with some soul searching with people that you can actually make a connection with.
Right.
And so that's what we're going to jump into today: dating during a pandemic slash coronavirus. So
Which is good for us ladies because you know how much we love to talk.
yes.
And it also gives you an opportunity to ask those questions
Yes.
and get to really know a person because you don't have all of the distractions
Mm-hmm.
of the bar or
Yes.
the restaurant or whatever. It's just you
Mm-hmm.
and him having a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a very intimate conversation. So, of course, with anything, you have to practice being safe. And so you can download a variety of apps. There's Zoom. And actually, if you look at stocks, kind of veering off the subject a little bit, anything that's kind of online, that's a publicly trading company, you might want to look into that stock because being that it's forcing everyone to be indoors, the stock prices are just kind of crazy. Check out Zoom's stock price and you'll see what I'm talking about. But you have a variety of options. And I'm not on the dating scene because I have a boyfriend, but I do still want that connection because I'm used to going out and hanging out with my friends, and we do virtual happy hours. And so I have a
That's
bar in my
awesome.
house,
Yeah.
yeah, and everybody will pop up their laptop, and it's like six of us on, and we have our drinks, and we're talking, and we're chatting, and we're just catching up with family and life, and just good old fun.
Right.
And so you can do the same thing when it comes to dating. So you can download Match.com on your phone. There's several dating sites, and so I have some suggestions for you guys. And so let's see. All right. So our dating websites are Tinder, and there's a lot of younger people on Tinder. You swipe left, you swipe right. Then you also have the Facebook dating app, and just about everybody's on Facebook. You have Match.com, and I actually met my partner on Match.com. Hey, baby. So, and there's also Kristen Mingles and Zooks and eHarmony, and even they have websites for like certain age group, like silver singles, and
Right.
then the
Right.
one website I think we can all agree on is like a hookup website is POF, Plenty of Fish. So if you're looking for a booty call, you might want to check that one out.
Not during COVID. I
Not
don't
during
recommend
covert
it.
though.
I
You
don't recommend
schedule
it.
that booty call for post covert.
I don't recommend it.
But yes, and so I have a question, yo. So it says, how do you meet a person online, social media, during covert? And so I think we just kind of basically touched on that. You can download the app, set up your profile. And when you set up your
Right.
profile, you want your profile to be in the best possible light. I see people, well, when I was on, Match or whatever, they would have like a driver's license picture. You can tell it was a driver's license picture from 5 years ago. They just use the same picture over and over. Okay, we're gonna go on to the next profile. But anyway, put the best profile picture out there, and showcase things that you enjoy doing, whether it's travel, cooking,
Right.
various hobbies. Men, if you're playing basketball, if you're physically fit, put on some interesting pictures and pump your profile, because remember, you're not even actually going to even meet this lady and probably until like post coronavirus, or
Right.
we'll give you some steps on how to take precautions if you do decide you want to venture out and meet that
Exactly.
person.
Exactly.
And so but yeah, make sure you set up a really good profile.
And if you do not want to spend the money for the online dating sites, everybody has Facebook. Facebook is the best place to meet someone. I mean, all your school friends are there, all your coworkers are there, neighbors, church friends, everybody, or just go through and just randomly look at pictures and select, or put a category in there for people in your city, or people who dine at this restaurant, or people who live in this area, and just start friending people. You'd be surprised how many people will confirm or accept your invitation or your invite.
Yeah.
So Facebook is good, and of course you can always decide whether or not you want to take it to the next level as far as WhatsApp or FaceTime or chatting
Or Duo.
or Zooming or Skype or whatever, so that you get that face-to-face, have the have the connection, get to know each other better, in private and intimate, and just take it to the next level.
All right. And then the next question I have is, so what questions do I ask, during a pandemic? And so I think you probably would want to ask, about their safety precautions.
Exactly.
What are they doing to keep themselves safe? Do you venture out a lot? What type of work do you do? Are you considered an essential worker? Where you have to go into the office, or are you remote and you work from home? And we all should be, washing our hands and avoid touching our face, especially when we're out in public, and sanitizing, frequently. And another thing that a lot of people don't realize is, like, when you're wearing your mask, if it's a cloth mask, I see a lot of people that would just wear the same mask, and they may wash the mask maybe once or twice every 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
You have to realize that you are out and about in public, and if you're, say, touching a basket, like a cart or something, or you open a door handle and then you're taking your mask and you're taking it off and you're pulling it off, you could potentially be putting it on that mask. So you need to make sure that you are washing your cloth mask frequently, or at least changing them out. And me, myself personally, I keep a disinfecting spray. So when I get back in the car, I do my hands first before I even pull the mask off. I take my disinfectant spray and I spray it on the back and front, and then I hang it over my rearview mirror, so that way the sun can kind of go ahead and dry it and kill any bacteria or anything like that may be on there. And so, but ask them, what type of safety precautions are you doing? Because if you have someone who's not taking the pandemic as serious as you are, you might want to wait until it's over before you meet that person. And if they're kind of hesitant to say, they don't really, kind of hemming and hawing around it, and they don't really want to answer, that might be your red flag. Maybe they're not taking it as serious as you, because a lot of people are asymptomatic, and so they could have it and give it to somebody and not even know, that they have it. So I just be cautious and start out online and take baby steps.
Exactly. I agree 100%. Another discussion that you could have will be family members. Who all is in their family? Who do they live with? Are they single, or do they live with the parents still? Are
what
there
type
any
of traffic is coming in and out of their house?
Are there any elders in the house or anything like that? As far as what the safety is and their perception of how to deal with COVID. But that should be one of the top questions when dating right now. Another question that you can ask would be, how would you quarantine, or are you willing to quarantine if you find out that you come in contact with COVID? What are the procedures and the steps that you would go about quarantining yourself? Or do you just disregard it altogether and just continue to do your regular daily routines? As far as dating, I think a good way to date if you want to take it to the next level of you've been chit-chatting on the phone for a while and you're ready to probably venture out, is to do a virtual quarantine. And you can easily do that. Everybody has a thermometer, and if not, Walgreens, CVS, Wally
Amazon.
World, Amazon.
That should be right to you. You don't even have to go to Walgreens.
And do a virtual temperature check. The first week,
Yeah.
you guys take each other. You take your temperature. He takes his,
And then show it.
and then show it
Yeah.
to each other. And then the second week,
That's
do
a
the
very
same
good idea.
thing. And then right before you date, that date day or that date night, do another virtual one last temperature check before you guys meet up. And if everything's good, go ahead and go. I would also recommend that you research the place that you're going to. If it's a restaurant, do they have a patio? Do they have a minimal maximum capacity? What safety, covert safety rules and restrictions do they have? You know, and make sure that they are abiding by all the COVID policies and procedures.
Definitely.
You know, eat on the patio. Do they do menu scans?
Yeah.
Or can you
Or
pay
is
with
everybody
your
touching it,
phone?
and then are they cleaning
Exactly.
them
Are
appropriately?
they separating you from the next table? You know, because when you're in a restaurant, that is one of the most riskiest place you can be, because you do now have to take down your mask to eat and to talk. So,
But I think even prior to even getting to work up that piece where you actually are going to venture out and meet people, I think COVID and the pandemic are forcing you to get to know that person even better. Like I said at the beginning of the show, you know, a lot of people will just like swipe left, swipe right. You know, we're going to do a quick meet and greet at Starbucks or whatever. You know, you kind of pump the brakes on that. So go ahead and ask all of those questions that you would typically ask kind of maybe second or third or fourth date. You know, you have all the time in the world to get to know that person.
Exactly.
And I think that's one good thing with the pandemic.
Right.
It forces you to have those relationships and value those relationships. You know,
Exactly.
and so, you know, what are your thoughts on children? Are you looking to get married? Or are you just looking to have fun and you're just kind of casually dating, you know?
Right.
You know, you can kind of lay it all out on the table, and then when you find out that you guys are on the same page and you want the same thing and you want to take it to the next level and maybe venture out, then yeah, I love what Yolanda suggested, the virtual temperatures. Here's mine. Well, let me see yours.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
don't forget to bring your mask. If not, I got to back up for you.
Right. Exactly.
I'll bring one too.
Yes.
You know, and to me that's so playful and that's so fun.
Right.
You know, and it kind of gives you that anticipation. I can't wait to meet this person because, you know, they're serious about this whole pandemic
Right.
just like I am, and we're both taking precautions, and this is going to be a good date. And so you're kind of
Right.
getting on the right path, you know. Like,
Exactly.
you know that person more in more depth than you
Exactly.
traditionally would have if the pandemic was not going on. At least I feel that way.
Right,
What do you
exactly.
think?
I agree. And for say, if you're not ready and you're still want to play it safe, and by all means,
That's your prerogative.
Exactly. Do what you feel is comfortable within yourself.
Yes.
And then find someone who feels the same way. Some things that you can discuss or talk about, or that may be fun while you're online or FaceTiming, is to give them a tour of your apartment or your place, you know, and as you're walking through, you know, kind of discuss the paintings or the pictures and why you chose to buy it or whatever, or maybe you have a funky little couch or something, you know, discuss it. You know, this has been in my family for years. It was given to my mom and she gave it to me, you know, and just make it fun. One other thing that you can do is you can maybe watch a movie together on Netflix,
I was
you
gonna
know,
say, yeah.
and have a good time doing that. Rate the movie, or you know, do a comedy show and just laugh the stress away, you
Yes.
know. So there's all kinds of fun and interesting things you can do. You just have to think outside of the box.
Yes.
You know, unfortunately, that's where we are now.
Yeah.
You know, so you want to be safe, but at
You
the
wanna have
same
fun, too.
time, you don't want to not live life.
Yeah.
You know, so for all my single friends, make the best of it. You know, the glass is only half full. if you let it be half full.
And another thing too that you could also do together is virtual cooking, and I
Good
actually
idea.
do that
Good
with my
idea.
friends. You know,
Yes.
they are like, let's cook together, because like I said, we already do the virtual happy hours.
Right.
So let's do some virtual cooking, and we will decide, okay, what are we gonna make tonight, ladies? We're gonna do spaghetti, or we're gonna do enchiladas, and someone will send out the recipe and the ingredients list, and we will all go out and do our shopping or have it delivered with Amazon. You know, I'm big on Amazon, but we'll have it delivered, and then we'll have our scheduled time, and then we will all jack in, and we will cook together, and we'll kind of take our phones and show what we're doing, and it is so much fun, and we're like drinking our wine.
And you'll be surprised how different each
Yeah.
person's meal
Look,
looks.
yes, and I even had someone to burn something one time online, and she was so just like into the whole virtual thing and just talking. Look here, drinking wine, drinking a little bit too much wine. Like, girl, and shit is burning in the background. And it was. So, and we laughed, but it was so much fun, and I felt like I had that connection with my girlfriends. And so you can do the same thing on a date. So
Yes.
have that connection with them and get to know that person.
Yes.
So the next question is, do we need to get tested before the masks come off? And I would say yes. I would say go ahead and get tested. There are plenty of places around that will do free corona testing. Just like this weekend, in Arlington at the Parks Mall, they were doing free corona testing on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and it's like from 8 to 4. You stay in your car, you drive up, and they will do the test for you, and then they will email you your results to let you know if you have it or not. So, because just like Gillian said, when you
Right.
go to eat, you can't eat with a mask on.
Right.
And so maybe your first date should be a little tempered to where maybe you're just going to have some drinks, and you can still have that little social distancing. You've already did your temperature checks before you ventured
Right.
out, so you're not running a fever, and hopefully you wouldn't be contagious.
Right.
But me personally, if I was just going to be totally comfortable, I would say yes, I would want to go ahead
Yes,
and
because
do
there
the
are
test.
a positive
Yeah.
people.
Mhm.
You know, you don't have any symptoms whatsoever, but that doesn't mean that you don't have corona.
Yeah.
So exactly, I would definitely recommend getting a test before you actually do.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
I actually had the
together.
test. I had the test, I guess maybe like last month, and some people I've heard say, "Oh wow, that's the most horrible test." They like shove the thing up to the back of my nose. I think you just had a bad tick.
Yes.
Because I had it I had it at UT Southwest in a drive-through, and the lady was super good. This nurse. And shouts out to all of the nurses that are out there on the front line dealing with this. The
yes.
nurses, the doctors, the
Heroes.
caregivers, the
Yes.
people that sit
Thank
with
you.
people that work in the nursing
Thank you
homes.
so much.
Thank you so much, because you are definitely our
Yes.
heroes during this time.
Yes.
And the lady, she was actually on a contract. She actually lived in Arkansas, but they had a shortage of workers, and so she took a contract to come up to Dallas to do the corona testing. She was awesome, and she talked me through the whole time. And the little it's like a little string, almost like a string, but not a string. It's almost like a silicone or a little rubbery type thing. But she just kind of slowly pushed it to the back of my nose, and she was like, just breathe and concentrate on your breathing and on my voice while I'm, pushing it. And she pushed it all the way until it got to the back, and then she just moved it around really slow, and she kept talking to me and say, just breathe. And then she said, just take a deep breath and let it out really slow, and she pulled it out. Literally, it was 2 minutes, and my eyes didn't water, anything. And so, and that's just my experience, and I'm not knocking anybody who's had a bad experience. But like I said, it depends on the tech.
Right, exactly.
But in my experience, it was not bad, and it was free, and it was just, I did it for the safety of my family,
Right.
and me being at home and,
Right.
and things like that. So I say, yes, you have nothing to lose, and
Exactly.
to have knowledge is to be in the know, and we always want to be
Exactly.
in the know, especially when it comes to this virus.
Yeah, and it's a peace of mind.
Oh,
to,
yeah,
to
definitely.
know that you're not positive, or you're not bringing something or giving something to someone unknowingly.
Mhm.
Because we do have that power to go ahead and take it within ourselves to be proactive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a great responsibility, you know, to not only love yourself, but love your loved ones and your family and your neighbors and your friends. And that's another thing with the mask, you know. I'm a true believer of loving myself, but also my neighbor enough to wear a mask.
Yeah, have empathy for the human race and life in general. You may be asymptomatic, but the person that you're talking to may have some underlying condition that you don't even know about, and so
or a grandma that lives with them at home.
Exactly.
And take it home to them.
And take it home to them. Yeah. So just be careful, and just be very, very selective. You know, and like I said, online dating during this pandemic, it kind of forces you to be selective because you already have that concern about having corona or getting corona, but generally getting to know that person in a more deeper one-on-one, whether it's online, and asking any and everything that you could potentially want to ask that person. I mean, it's the best possible scenario. Yeah, it's the best possible scenario. Yeah.
So women, we should be loving this right about now. Oh, I get to ask him all kinds of questions.
Yeah.
Now,
And
he
then
has
if you
no
don't see
choice.
him, if you don't get, and you know, it's not like you worry about running him off. He's online anyway.
I know, right?
Or maybe I don't want to ask such
Let me go
personal
to the next
questions.
one.
Yeah, he might not call me back. Guess what? Swipe to the right.
I know,
Keep it
right?
moving.
What's the next question?
And so the next one, where is it? Let's see. Okay, so the third question was, do I need to get tested before the mask come out? So I saw some online chatter about, should I be wearing a mask if I decide to get intimate with this person?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's a whole new
Another story.
Yeah, because that's like a little freaky anyway. You know, I'm gonna wear this whole mask while I'm getting busy with somebody. How many of you would really keep that mask on? You know, so I revert back to question number 3. Just go ahead and get tested with corona. Make sure you both don't have it.
Yes.
And
if take the mask off,
and then
you don't
take
need
the mask
it,
off. You don't need it. Or if you want to leave it on, leave it on. So.
So in our Tiffany's voice, she ready.
Is she ready, y'all?